Hello, everyone. Welcome to your writing prompt for the day. I'm very happy to share something with you. My name is Cecily Saylor. I'm a writer and a creativity coach and a tarot reader, and also the creator of Typewriter Tarot, which is a project that supports creative spirits with magic, inspiration, and community. So for our prompt today, appropriately, given my work, I have pulled 3 cards for us to connect with. And the cards come from a different deck each. So I'm going to share that with you now so you can see them. Over here on the left, we have card 62, which is the sword from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck by Kim Krans. And in the middle, we have the 9 of Vessels, which is commonly known as the 9 of Cups from the Liberation Tarot. And then on the right, we have card 25 from the Cantigee Oracle by Ray Diamond and Laura Zuspan. I'll list the decks in the description of this video. This card is called Touching the Star-Kissed Leaf. This is a really beautiful deck that has a lot of ecology and nature focus, and kind of like an eco poetry bent. I'm really enjoying all 3 of these decks. So just take a moment to look at the cards you see, notice the details within each card, notice how the cards kind of reverberate off of one another. Just take a moment to look, study, observe, and also notice anything that changes or shifts inside of you as you're looking. Okay, we're going to look at each card a little more closely and connect with each one individually. So we'll start with the sword and just continue exactly what you were doing before, noticing the card, studying its features, but this time begin to write down any language that comes up as you're observing. So you can write down description words, color words, words associated with the symbols you see, associative words, anything related to like a memory this might recall, verbs, abstract concepts, whatever comes up, write it down. Just keep looking, noting, looking and noting. I'm going to bring in some additional language for you, some language that I would associate with this card as a reader, something I might offer like a querent who is receiving this card. Here's some concepts we can work with: metal, cutting through illusion. And if any of these appeal to you or resonate for you, go ahead and write them down as well. Finality, weapon, decisiveness. Could also add division, action, cord cutting, boundaries, and clarification. So add anything there that feels like it belongs on your page, or if hearing these words brought up new words that you like, just write those down. Okay, let's go on to our second card, the Nine of Vessels. So once again, just look and note, observe and write. Detail words, description words, movement words, color words, object words, feeling words, whatever comes up. And then I will give you some more language if you like it. Emotional honesty, what's on display versus what's true, alone or together, hard won contentment, or performative satisfaction. Maybe see how that language squares with what you see in the image, and if there's anything that comes up for you to bridge those gaps or create new space or perspective, you can add it now. And then we'll move on to our third card, touching the star-kissed leaf, which is language you may want to write down yourself. But again, notice, observe, write, describe, feel, associate. And I'll offer you some more language. If you like any of this, feel free to capture it. Vastness and smallness, being held, the topmost leaf touching the bottommost star, going up instead of forward, elevated perspective, rooted in the present, and contact with non-human beings. Let that bring up for you anything else that wants to come up. Add it to your page. And then let's take a moment to read over the three sets of associative language that you've created. So, yeah, maybe you've created like a little word cluster or a word cloud. Just read over each one for each card. And as you do that, choose two phrases or two words that are your favorite for whatever reason. They just appeal to you today. And underline them, circle them, highlight them. So just look back, review, and select. We're gonna come back to the the three card set and look at them again together. And based on some of the language that you created, or n- not referring to any of the language you've created, whatever you like, try to create a single sentence that captures a story that moves us through these three cards. So, how can the sword, the nine of vessels, and touching the star-kissed leaf, how could they all be connected in a single sentence? You don't have to use any of the language in the cards. Um, these are just a starting point, but what would be a sentence that could connect some of these ideas together in a vaguely story seeming way? And just write that sentence down. It only needs to make sense vaguely to you. It would not need to be like a sentence or a story sentence that would hold up in any kind of formal setting or workshop or anything else, just whatever your brain and your imagination wants to create. All right. So I'd like you, or I invite you to take that sentence that you've created and let that be the title of your piece, which could become a poem or a piece of very short fiction or something in between, some hybrid, whatever feels right to you. So that story sentence is now your title, which of course you can change later. And then below your title, you're going to use the 6 phrases that you circled after looking at the cards and weave them together into a poem or some kind of short story or scene or moment, whatever makes sense. Of course, you can bring in connecting language to bring those different phrases together. Um, but see what happens when you take this story sentence title and these phrases and weave and collage them and look for the connective tissue. So I will leave you with that to play with. And before I go, I will just let you know that if you're interested in tarot as a creative person, there's a lot more that I would love to share with you, including creative coven gatherings, which I host 8 times a year. They're free. And in these gatherings, we nourish our creativity through the lens of tarot and astrology and the seasons. And I have a free newsletter where I write about creativity and magic and holding on to these things in a scary late capitalism world. I also have a podcast called Your Creative and Magical Life, which you can find wherever you get your podcasts. And I'm on Instagram at Typewriter Tarot. And there's a lot more on my website if you want to check it out. That's also the place where you can sign up for the newsletter. And I'd love to hear from you if this prompt was interesting or fruitful, or if something cool came up and you want to tell me about it. I would love, love, love to know. And you can reach me at hello@typewritertarot.com. Thank you for joining me. And I hope you have a beautiful month of writing. And I'd love to hear from some of y'all soon. Take care.